Hello YouTube, this is Knife Sharpening Norway. I thought I would show you sharpening my beautiful Aaron Johnson custom Chinese cleaver. This has been used a lot. It's held up pretty well. It's pretty thin at the spine, pretty thin behind the edge too. Come on, damn camera, focus. Here, as you see, it's pretty damn thin. I'm gonna just use the Naniwa Professional 400, 1000 stone, 3000, then what was the name? Takashima natural, and asagi natural, to see how sharp I can get them. I usually like the edge straight off the Naniwa Professional 3000 with this, so I'm gonna see if the Takashima natural or the asagi natural is any better. I'm just gonna start like I always start, by flattening my 400. I flatten before every time I sharpen, if I'm gonna sharpen or thin behind the edge. So it don't cost much of the stone to keep it flat. There, that's all it took to get that stone to flat. As I said earlier, one of the best investments you can get is to start with good stones. You don't only need 1 or 2 stones to sharpen with. The rest is just because you want better edges or get there quicker. You need 1 stone, a Shapton Professional 1000. Great stone for everything. You can tin on it, you can sharpen on it, just strop and you got a sharp edge. Nano Professional 400 or 1000, the same. You only need that stone and you can strop to achieve the rest. Flattening plate, I can't recommend enough the Atoma 140. So, I'm gonna start so you know it's dull. This is a view. By dragging off the edge. 1, 2, and 3 times. This is so thin, it's still fairly sharp because thinness cuts. But I can drag my fingers across very gently. I hope you can see that without cutting myself. I won't push because then it will cut because it's so thin. I'm still gonna take it a little thinner. Yeah, that's hardly pressed to do, but I'm gonna try. And this is so great feeling. See, that's a problem. I'm actually hitting the holder here. I wish those were half the heights. Maybe I'm gonna try filing them down later using a saw or something. The holders are, they're taller than my thumb. They're actually as thick as here. So they don't need to be, they can be 1/3 of that, but yeah. Just like now I hit them. So I need actually to build up my stone with something. I used that stone very much. What should I use? What should I use? That actually works. Maybe just a piece of paper. be enough. Just so I can get them off the very edge. Just a little more there, it's not a problem. Can't understand why that there it looks like it clears. I can't understand why the holders are so thick, because using tin stones, yeah, it will hit. Yeah, there it clears. I'm sharpening behind the edge now. We're not sharpening but actually tinning. So. And I need to buy a hacksaw or something, take the holder off, and yeah, just grind it down because it's too thick. Just adding a little splash of water. It bothers me because especially the sharpened glass, the holders are way too thick. It could be the thickness at the screw, just like this. You don't need much, just so they touch the stone. Showing you the difference in grit level. I can't remember what I took this up to. I'm pretty sure it's either the 2000 Aotoshi or the 3000. This is the side I sharpened now, or tinned, sorry. And this is the other side. So you can see polished, you can see my hand reflecting there. This side you can see it's much duller. Just taking off a little and then examining. I can actually move, just see, take a little more up here. Just getting the tip area a little thinner. It's already extremely thin, but hey, you can always go thinner. Here's my knife. Pretty. I wouldn't say carefully because I use them pretty hard, but I'm no stupid man. I use them like you should use a knife. They're not pry bores. They're not hacking tools, etc. So. Just flipping. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that since the paper is there, but just flipping to ensure even wear. I'm barely holding the spine over the stone. We're talking like that's flat. I'm here maybe 1 degree over, 1, 2, 3 degrees, and rocking between that. Say between 1 and 3 degrees, rocking up and down, one thinning to make the sides slightly convex. The pressure I'm using is around 6 pounds, 3 kilos. Isn't 2 pounds around 1 kilo, if I'm not mistaken. It may be I am. Little more there and there. And when you have sharpened for quite a bit, your eyes will tell you everything you need to know. A knife doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be thinned. It's a little spotty here and there, don't worry about it. It will get better every time you thin it. Don't need to be perfect. The cutting edge just needs to be clean, free of burr, free of any chips and defects, and then it's plenty good. You don't need to be splitting hairs and cutting free-hanging tissue paper, etc. Don't need that. If it easily cuts a tomato, onion skin, things like that, it's plenty good. See, just looking how the symmetry is. Just got something there. That looks good. That looks good. Looking. Yep. I think I'm ready to go to the edge. I'm gonna do the edge fairly low. I'm just gonna show you. I actually think the knife looks pretty good just with a 400 finish. I'm just gonna wipe off the handle a little bit. It looks pretty good in my eyes. I don't care so much for finish. You can see I've sharpened the crap out of it. I don't know if you can see, but it's gotten a little bit thinner at the very edge. So yeah, I'm gonna move to the edge. If that's flat, I'm not gonna be up here, I'm gonna do there, between there, rocking a little. Between 10 and 13 degrees, I would guess. And now I'm using light pressure since the edge is so thin. Just a little more than the weight of the knife. So 2 pounds, no, less than that. 1 pound, maybe 500 grams, maybe even less. That's too heavy, but yeah, pretty light. And you don't need to press much because the edge is so damn thin that you will actually bend it from side to side and give you a false reading when checking for burr. Let's see, yeah, that's plenty down thin. Since I took much of the edge, when the knife is so thin you actually take a lot of the edge by dragging it 3 times. It doesn't look like it, but it's quite a lot. Nearly gotten a burr, but want it to be just a little more pronounced there at the heel. So I'm making sure the burr is uniform. If you have say bigger burr here and a little smaller here, you have taken more off here than you have here. Make sure when you feel the burr is the same all the way down. Just a little more. I'm doing this. Now I'm actually lowering it around off the shoulders. So now I may be at 7 or 8 degrees per side. I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna see what the blade and steel can handle. I have pretty good faith in this blade. Just feels so awesome, so crisp on the stone. Aaron Johnson, again, you have done a great job on this cleaver. You have hit it out of the ballpark. Isn't that what they say down in the States? I think that is it. Doing the same on the back side. This cleaver is the only cleaver I have which is nearly flat there. Just got, because I rounded off the tip because it often got stuck, just a hint of smile there. Actually I think it's completely flat here. You'd use with a little more smile. I'm actually doing like I've sharpened the belly just to keep rounding it. I'm doing this on purpose, not by error. Just flipping, unsure even there. There. I've got no burr since I'm so low, so I'm raising just the tiniest amount. Now I'm at around 10 degrees. Crap, I will drop the stone and dig the blade into the stone. Yeah, error happens. I have a baby, so I'm pretty tired. So I'm not as heightened and as, what do you say, as rested as I should be. But hey, accidents happen. That's why I don't edit anything. I could easily edit that out, but yeah, you can see where I'm doing errors too. Just a little more. Since I'm barely using any pressure, this 400 acts more like maybe 1000, 1500. So it takes a little time. Hey, I'm in no hurry. 18 minutes. There, I gotten quite the burr. Flipping it. Just making sure that it flips easy. Now I'm lowering the angle just to get rid of the shoulders that I created. Flips. Want to get rid of the shoulders, even though they are pretty minute and microscopic, are some of the best performance things you can do to your knife. It actually helps quite a lot. They often bind right at the shoulders. And by the shoulders, I mean if you create an edge like this, imagine my knuckles here being the shoulders. By removing those, you go from maybe this to this. Yeah, if you understand, you're doing a more straight line following the entire face. Streamlining it pretty much. Yep, that feels pretty good. Just flattening it. That's all it took from opening. Put in my clapper. Where did you go? Going to the 1000, which you see is a lot thicker. I bought the 400 used, I had it, and that's my most used stones. I've tinned on it and used it for extremely many years. I reckon 40 years maybe of hard use. I'm shockingly impressed that I haven't wear out a stone. I reckon it got 4 or 5 years more in it. I'm just gonna do something to fix this with afterwards, because it's too high. Just flattening it again. This 1000 I just used before I did this video to touch up my Victorinox with, so that's why it needed a little flattening. There. Starting just behind the edge. Just polishing a little. Just making it look pretty again. I'm not doing polishing too much. It's a knife, it's a user. It's not something that just hangs on the wall and look pretty. Yeah, the knife can look pretty, don't get me wrong, but it's much more important than that the knife has performance over beauty. One who does both is Shibata Takayuki, or Takayuki Shibata, I can't remember, but the knives are Shibata Kotetsu. Those are some of the best knives you can find, in my eyes, for the money. They're pretty cheap for what you get. They're pretty damn high performance too for what you get. Why I also flatten after I sharpen is to ensure that they do not have any micro cracks or imperfections, etc. Actually flip the burr, just going to the very edge. Yes, the weight of the blade is now plenty. Flippity flop flop, you flip it from side to side, just weakening the burr. That's about all it took on that stone, because I did most of the work on the 400. Like I say earlier, do your work on the quartz stones. First of all, they are cheaper and they meant to do the work. The finer stones are meant to just polish and slightly touch up the edge. They aren't meant to be grinded upon for hours. if you can do the work on 1,000, good. If you do the work on 3,000, even better. You don't need this here now. Height of the stones are plenty good enough. See. Going to the 3,000. And I'm at 26 minutes. I'm just gonna find some paper to cut to show you after the 3,000, then after the natural stones. Let's see here. There, piece of paper. Sorry about that. This too, just flattening it really quick. And this too I used quite a lot. Just tightening up the stops. It could be better actually, the screws here, maybe some rubber or something, because they are a little hard to grip. They're going to town again. And starting as always behind the edge, removing shoulders, and polishing up the sides just a little. As you see, the 3,000 is pretty damn quick. That's all black. The stone is pink. Just look at that. It's a pretty damn quick 3,000, which is why I love it. It just cuts like a freaking demon to be a 3,000. Feels so smooth and creamy. I mean, look at that. Does not clog. At least in this steel, some steels it actually clogs just a little. I'm too low, so the burr hasn't flipped. That's good to know. I'm not bothering by polishing it up too much. Don't need to be a mirror polish, it don't need to be a polish at all. I'm just removing the worst scratches. So that stuff and gunk hasn't got those big places to find their way into. Just flipping it. Ensure that I wear down the stones evenly. There. I think that's enough. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And just a good light when doing this can help you tell a lot. Now I'm using less than the weight of the blade, maybe just, oh, what is it? I don't know the imperial, but 50 grams or something. Just barely holding, kissing the edge. Just gently touching it across the stone. that's about what it takes. There, it's just a little more polished. Not very much, but just a little. I record 3-finger test. Actually, I got some more left. Could tell by how it was grabbing my fingers. Just dropping it on the magic bear belly. Get yourself a bear belly. It really helps. You can also do this. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's cool for fun. And yes, I've done this a couple of 100,000 times before, so I know not to cut myself. Just feeling over, and yeah, the edge is just hellish sharp. Holy shit, if I can see it. You can see maybe focus, but yeah, I actually nicked my skin a little there. Just seeing. That's sharp. That's extremely scary sharp. Just working off the edge again on my t-shirt. Just for fun, I'm taking my hair. It doesn't pass the hanging air test, but I know it will easily perform in the kitchen, so yeah. Let's see, just something so it doesn't move. Just putting this underneath it. There. And this don't need much water. There already is a little slurry on it. Starting behind the edge. Just to get the stone a little started. And this I know is flat because I flattened it before I started. It's a little soft. This takashima could be a little harder. This does such a good job just cleaning up the scratches. Just gonna do this to really get it to stick. This is just to get a little more polish. don't know how the edge is gonna turn out yet, but I like it better on this or the professional stuff. Just flipping it a little to ensure even wear. This carbon steel here, I would reckon it's 5200. I know it is, so I want to reckon that, but I think it's around 61, 62. It feels around that. It feels so damn good on the stones. It's actually one of the best feeling blades I own on the stones. It's starting to come along nicely. And it smells good. It has a unique smell. Not pungent, but very earthy. Like being in the forest when it rains. It's a good smell. It's actually a very relaxing smell. Trying to utilize the whole stone. Looks good. Now moving to the very edge. I'm using the lightest pressure, not to create any burn, not to dig into the stone. There. Thank you, Niklas Gudmundsson, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, for getting me into natural stones. I traded my Örjan Blom Patty against these two naturals. Just checking under some good light. I got any flaws in the edge? Oh, that looked pretty damn good. You can see it's been shined a little more up across the very edge. And yeah, doing the Murray Carter. Feels a little more bitey. Actually thinks the 3000 is finer than the Takashima. I would reckon the Takashima is around 15 to 2000 grit actually. And this is gonna let me know. Yeah, a good amount more of tooth. Yep, that's pretty damn sharp. Removing a single piece of hair from my head again. Still doesn't pass. I'm not that good as that I can pass the hanging hair test. I did it once, I can't remember, my IKEA knife, but yeah, it takes a lot of too much of concentration, etc. So yeah. Just flattening it, that's about all it took. Rounding the corners. Just to make sure. Just making sure it's completely clean. And then this asagi, it's got a hard side and a soft side. I'm just gonna try the soft side. And I'm gonna get it started with a little slurry. Wash my plate now, because I'm not bothering flattening it again, just making sure the flat. I do this sometimes, really scrub your diamond plate, it will help a lot. So I'm in at 45 minutes, that's not too bad actually. And now the secret, which I found out, to really getting the most out of natural stones, just barely any water. You want a paste like toothpaste on your stone. If you see, that's perfect. I love the feel of this asagi. Just polishes so nicely. Now I'm polishing behind the edge, of course. I'm letting the paste just thicken up so it does its work. There, removing it to create new slurry. Putting the knife away here. Again. Creating a pretty thick slurry. I can feel, as you see, when it sticks. I know it's perfect. Going to the other side. Come here. This actually smells a little more less than the takashima, but a little more. Yeah, I can't describe it. It smells more like spicy. I know it's weird, but yeah, natural stones, they smell great. This I'm gonna use to create the tiniest micro bevel. When I'm doing that, I want the entire stone very clean, so I don't hit any of the slurry, and the slurry hits the apex of the knife, and by doing that, it's actually duller than it could be. There, going to the magic bear belly shirt again. Don't know how well you can see that. I can see it pretty well, but it actually shined up this portion pretty damn well. Now I'm going to the edge. Just making sure there's no debris or dirt or anything. And just wait piece of the blade, barely that, is creating the micro bevel. I'm creating a pretty big micro bevel, maybe around 25 degrees, just for strength, since this knife is so incredibly thin. And it hurts performance just the tiniest bit, but it helps a lot if you're doing any errors when you're cutting. There. See, the Murray Carter 3-finger test. I'm using this so I know where my finger is at. That's, oh yeah. Ooh. That's a scalpel. That's just, yeah. That's in view. Starting at the very heel. I can't describe how sharp that knife is now. Aaron Johnson, if you felt this edge, trust me, you would be afraid. It just so tooth is so grabby, so polished at the same time. This is like a 3,000-4,000 grit polish with the edge of 1,500-2,000 stone. In my eyes, compared to my professional naniwa series. Just for fun. Let's see. This paper is a little wet now, but I reckon it still can do it. Just moving, you guys. Sorry about this. Sue me if you get dizzy. And I hope this is in view. I won't go all the way down, but as you see, it's so easy. Just the tip. This hasn't got a tip. Can you see? Can you see that? That's a reflection there of the camera around the tip. Oh, I love this thing. Just laying it. Yeah, it's sharp. I'm gonna try something. Oh, just clean up the mess here. My kitchen isn't very big, so excuse me for this, but as you all know, I'm not, yeah, I do this for fun. This is, yeah, this won't work. It's this is the most flimsy rubbish. You can actually see through this paper. It's like, yeah, it isn't even like a single normal ply. It's see-through. Look how see-through it is. So yeah, did that pretty nicely. Let's see, do I get any regular? I can get some toilet paper. normal, excuse my pun, but shitty paper. It's toilet paper. It's that in view. Sorry about this, but yeah, I do this for fun, not because anything else. Come here. Just for fun. Let's see, just tightening it up. That's in view, isn't it? That's fuck, I think I actually hit the edge on the counter. But yeah, that's pretty damn sharp. As you see, pretty clean cut. This was harder than I thought. Oh, God help me. Oh, crap, how hard is it to cut toilet paper? Yeah. As you see, it will do it, but barely. It's crappy toilet paper. But as you saw, I can get normal magazine paper. Just a minute. You saw it easily push cut. This is with a pretty durable micro bevel. It could be much sharper by just leaving it at its original edge, but yeah. You see, it can do that. I would like to have a bed tester like Perfection will get and test the edges, but as you see, it's plenty sharp. It's more than sharp enough. So thanks for watching. This is Knife Sharpening Norway. Please subscribe, leave a comment, like the video and share it. Bye.